I've got a 1999 Fiat Scudo, and it's an ex-mobility vehicle, and as you can see it's got airbag rear suspension on it. Now when I bought it, it had a slight leak, but you could pump it up for a couple of weeks at a time before we needed to pump it up again. Well, it's got to the stage where it's having to be pumped up about 3 times a day now. I don't know how good these or how clear these pictures will be up under here. I should probably stick some photographs on with them. Only 3 bolts holding them in, one underneath where the spring would normally sit, and then one up that side and one the other side. Because they're all rusty, of course, it's never straightforward taking them out, but so there's not much to these airbags, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. Fortunately, thank you to my brother-in-law, I've got a jack that I can borrow. As you can see under here, it lifts the whole van up. You can tilt it up a lot higher than it is. You can jack it up almost straight and then tilt it either backwards or forwards, so it then gets the rear end of the vehicle much higher up off the ground, as you can see. But I've got it up just high enough so I can work on them where they are. We'll sit on the seat and get all the bolts I need, so I'm a bit of a lazy mechanic. Everybody knows that working on cars, especially older cars, is a real pain in the arse. Well, this is about 2 hours later. I'm not going to show you all the footage of swearing and banging and crashing and scuff knuckles, because we've all been there. The airbag itself, sorry, the picture's not very good here, the airbag itself is almost out. There's no nuts holding it on or anything. It just seems to be stuck in position where it is. This is the bottom fixing that came out of there. Fortunately, I suppose really, that just sheared off. As I'm not reusing them, it doesn't really matter. But I say it's all, try getting levers in there and levering it down, see what's holding it at the moment. But I'm just going to go and have a cup of tea, and then I shall come and finish off getting it out. So this is what's inside the air springs when you take them apart. You've got aluminium casting, the springs, or the rubber's actually attached to. I've just cut that off. This is how I'm going to reuse the top mount. I'm going to drill the air fitting out, I'm going to tap it 12mm, and I'm going to high tensile 12mm bolt with some really thick washers on, about 6 of them, to make a location, the centre location that the spring will sit over, and then that's all going to be nutted up behind it. I'll show you that when it's done. It's just because on the originals they would have a domed metal locator for the spring to sit over, so I'm just adding that. Right, this is the airbag or air spring mount after it's come off the vehicle. You can see I've cut the original airbag away, which has left the cup, and it's got a metal fixing inside holding it all to the mount. Now, as I said in another part of the video, I've had trouble finding the top mounts for it, so I'm going to utilise these ones. I've got a 12mm stainless bolt. I've drilled out the air fitting, I've tapped it M12. These are about 3mm thick stainless washers, there are 6 of them, and I've threaded them so they're screwed onto the bolt's screwed into the fitting, and then down in the back there, I don't think you can see it, there's a nylock nut fitted on the whole lot, so that is solid. Because on the original fittings they would have had this sort of bump for the spring to sit over. like that. So that is what I'm going to put back on the van. Not quite sure if it will pass an MOT like that or not. I don't see why not. It's as solid as the original will be. But the van's got 8 months MOT on it anyway, so neither here nor there at the moment. If they do fail it when it comes to the MOT next year, then I'll have to do something else about it. But so it's at the moment it's a cheap solution, and I've got to do something because I need the van to pick bits and pieces up. And so the rear suspension kept going down, and I had to keep pumping it up 2 or 3 times a day. This is the other side of the vehicle. You see I've already taken this spring out, and I don't know if you can see that, it's probably not very clear. I'll take a photo, but I've utilised the old mount from the airbag to be the upper mount for the spring. I was having trouble finding replacements on eBay, and contacted 3 breakers who were dismantling Scudos, and none of them got back to me. Went to my local breakers, they didn't have one that they were breaking. So you've got to do what you've got to do to make these things work. Whether it'll be good enough for the MOT, it should be. It's going to be a solid mount, and I mean the fixing's solid. There's a better view. But anyway, the spring will sit up in there. As you can see, springs are now in. All we had to do was move the bottom shock absorber joint, put a lever in here, lever the axle down, and pop the springs in position. Do that on both sides. Obviously it takes 2 people to do it, but my brother-in-law helped with me, and hopefully that's the job done. And then back on the ground, that's the ride height with the springs in. And this is what the ramp looks like when it's out from under the vehicle. As you can see, substantially made, really nice bit of kit. Same for, I think it was just under 300 quid. Not a bad price either.